I'm glad to say all those pedestrians and cyclists, you are safe today. I'm not driving. I'm in the back of the cab today. And joining me is Peter Whittle, who's the UKIP mayoral candidate for London. Now, Peter, you're a South London boy, aren't you, from Peckham? Yeah. But we'll ask you some London questions in a bit. But let's start off with what is your big thing. You say if you become mayor, you will get a grip of immigration. But how are you going to do that?
Well, I think the thing is, the two, in your own poll last week at the BBC, the two biggest concerns for Londoners were housing, quite rightly, and immigration. All I'm saying, which the other candidates are not, is that these two are obviously linked. I mean, it is absolutely common sense, and most people can see that. So what I would do, and what I think the mayor's got an absolute obligation to do, is to put that case to government and say, look, you know, we have to have a proper, fair, controlled migration system in order to get a long-term handle on the housing situation.
But is there anything you, as mayor, could actually do, or is it just talk?
No, it's not just talk. I mean, you know, if you remember, Boris, when he was mayor, said he still is mayor, but when he said there should be a full amnesty for illegal migrants. I mean, you know, the mayor is in a position of extraordinary influence, and if the mayor doesn't do that, who does?
London's economy, as you know, is built on immigration, and a lot of immigrants probably are here illegally, cleaning the streets, working in care homes, working in kitchens. Would you say they must go, we have to get rid of them, or would you say, as Boris did, no, let's give them an amnesty?
No, I don't believe in an amnesty at all. I think it sends out utterly the wrong message. In fact, it works in migrants' disfavour because it encourages all sorts of things like people trafficking. I think that's totally the wrong way to go. I think the fact is obviously London is a great booming city, but it's got amazing strains now on all of its infrastructure, its housing, its transport, its social services. And the fact is, all we're saying is that there's got to be, for the country and indeed obviously for London, a fair but controlled
Okay, let's talk housing
system.
Then, which is another of the issues you've mentioned. Now, you say you want to give priority to Londoners in terms of housing. Yeah. Who is a Londoner?
Well, it's quite simple. What we've sort of worked out is that obviously London is a modern city, you know, and there's always going to be a transitory element to a place like London. So we say that in terms of social housing, if you have been in London for 5 years, we think it's a very reasonable time that you should then have priority when it comes to housing, social housing.
Well, what happens to someone who was born and brought up in London, maybe gone away for a few years and come back? They go to the back of the queue again.
Well, I mean,
because they would say they are Londoners.
Yes, exactly. But I think that you have to make a move on this. I mean, in the sense that obviously there are different cases as such as that, but there is a lot of worry about the fact that people who have been in London for a while, people have been put down roots, somehow or other don't really get a fair say.
Let me put it to you, Peter, that is a very divisive policy, because you're saying to some people in London, OK, you're a true Londoner, you're not quite a Londoner, and you're definitely not a Londoner.
No, I don't
Isn't that what it amounts to?
No, I don't accept it at all. I think that basically to say 5 years prior, you know, if you've been living in a place and put down certain sort of roots for 5 years, I think that's a very reasonable time. I mean, you know, in which to have priority.
OK, a lot of controversy about the Panama Papers and offshore funds buying up property in London, vast amounts of property, driving up prices. What would you do about that? Would you say, OK, you can only buy a London property if you are a UK taxpayer, for example?
No, don't say that. I think that's unrealistic. I think the main problem is that when people buy up property but then leave it empty, and that squeezes the whole market.
These offshore funds
exactly do. So what we would do is actually penalise this further by not just putting the usual council tax on it, but doubling council tax on things that have remained empty for 2 years.
Okay, Peter,
that's a very fair.
I'm going to stop you there because we've got to do some quick London questions. Right, okay. You use the tube, don't you? You probably got off at Westminster. Okay. Tell me this, what's next? Westminster, St James's Park, Victoria.
Westminster, St James's Park, Victoria, Sloane Square.
Very good. OK, you're shopping in Oxford Street. I'm going to give you 3 out of the 4 department stores. I want you to give me the 4th, OK? John Lewis, Debenhams, Selfridges.
D.H. Evans.
OK, very good. Football fan?
Hey, I was always the fat kid at school.
OK, well, this is a sort of half-television question. You remember Till Death Us Do Part, Alf Garnett?
Yeah.
Who did he support?
West Ham.
West Ham, very, very good. Last question, which I think you'll get. Who said if you're tired of London, you're tired of life?
Dr. Johnson.
Very good, very good. Well, there we go. Thank you very much. Okay, Joanna, there we go. We've given Simon a bit of a grilling and got some idea of where UKIP stand in the mayoral elections.
Thank you. I thought it was going to turn into a bit of a therapy session there as well when you asked the question about football, and he went straight back to the school days. But anyway, good stuff. Thank you.